Hi, I'm Annalisa. I'm an opera singer and voice coach. Today I'm here to talk to you about breath. Did you know that most people only use about a third of the capacity of their lungs? Opera singers, on the other hand, make the most of our lung capacity because that helps us to produce a nice large sound that we can project to within large spaces and to a lot of people. So we have specific techniques that we learn and we practice over decades until it becomes second nature, and we can help our voice by projecting really well and hopefully making a nice sound, and we sell loads of tickets to our shows. But I'm on a mission to help every single person improve the way they breathe. You don't have to be a professional singer to benefit from deep breathing. You may have come across the idea of deep breathing if you do things like yoga and exercise and meditation in various ways. A lot of people still don't really know how to go into deep breathing easily, and especially they might exercise and meditate, or even singers a lot of the time will practice vocal technique at the time when it's needed. What I would like to change is everybody's approach. Why shouldn't we always breathe in a way that makes us feel happy, relaxed, and in control? This is very simple, and I shall show you how today. First of all, have a little feel for your soft palate. With your tongue, feel the roof of your mouth. You've got your hard palate above your tongue. If you keep feeling with your tongue towards the back, eventually you will hit a ridge in the hard palate and you will hit the soft palate. Now we stretch the soft palate naturally when we yawn. Feel that? And when we gasp. Now that's the body's natural way to monitor our heart rate, to make sure that we have plenty of oxygen in our body to help us to cope with shock. Or in the case of yawning, our body wants to help us get more oxygen in, slow down our heart rate, and be ready for rest. Now that movement, that intake of air that stretches the soft palate, means that we take in a lot of air in one go, and instead of only filling a third of the capacity of our lungs, the air goes directly to the bottom of our lungs, our diaphragm catches it, and our lungs can fill entirely with air really quickly and really efficiently. Because the lungs are then full of air and the way into the diaphragm, it is then a lot easier to control the air through by working the muscles in our abdomen and supporting our diaphragm and therefore controlling the air. Now what I would like you to think is to change the way we think about the soft palate, about yawning and so on. It needs to not be something we only do naturally as and when we need it. Every time you breathe in, what singers do when we perform, every breath we take, we stretch the soft palate. It prepares us. Most importantly, what it does is that it relaxes the muscles in our throat. Now, whenever we're stressed or tired, the muscles in our throat tense up. Now, if you're trying to speak, let alone sing, even trying to speak with a throat that's tense, it can even really hurt. It becomes very difficult. Now, I will show you in practice the difference. At the moment, I always breathe into my soft palate and always project. I'll try to not do that. Okay, so I will now talk normally. I will naturally be a little bit quieter. I will also need to breathe a lot more often. And at the end of every sentence, if you can hear, the voice sort of starts to crackle and dies away a little. And while I'm talking, I'm trying to project the voice forward. I keep having to think about what I'm saying. You can probably notice if you look close enough, my eyes start darting left, right and centre in searching for the things I want to say. And I'm already tired from the amount of times that I have to breathe in. So I will now change. I'll show you. I will now breathe into my soft palate and I'll talk and notice the difference. Right. Now what I've done is that I breathed into the soft palate. The soft palate is up. You will also notice I've raised my cheeks. That helps the soft palate stay up. My throat is nice and open. The muscles in my throat are nice and relaxed. You will have noticed, hopefully, I breathe much less frequently. And when I speak, it's a lot clearer. It is louder. And I don't feel as tired. I feel a lot more focused. I've been able to look at the camera more solidly because what I've done is that I've opened everything up and I'm now focused in a different place. But now, instead of fishing for ideas out there, my ideas are now part of me. They're all inside my space, which I've somehow increased just through the awareness of breathing and opening up with the breath. I intend to record quite a few sessions to help people practice some exercises and develop the same sort of understanding and awareness of breathing, because it does take a while. It sounds like a lot of nonsense the first time you hear it. It does take practice until it does become second nature, but it is invaluable and it can save lives. So let's practice together. Let's do a few breathing exercises to play around with the idea of getting used to that soft palate. So what I'd like you to do, breathe in through your mouth, hold the breath for a moment, and then exhale, but in a controlled way, as if you were producing wind through your lips, like this. Let's do it together. In and out. Once more. In and out. Hopefully you will have noticed that the muscles in your abdomen are tensed up. They've taken over the breathing. Let's build up from there. We'll take another breath, but let's involve our arms to help not only stretch the throat, but stretch the chest muscles. So we'll breathe in the same way, but we'll move our arms like that. We'll breathe in and out. Bring your air back and breathe in and out. Let's do one more and really be aware of how your arms feel. Breathe in and out. Now the next thing we'll do some humming. Now we've been smiling through our breathing, hopefully. Have you been smiling? Good. We'll start a hum from here to make sure that we channel the vibrations. Instead of humming like this, we'll hum on an sound, as in the word hungry. Say hungry to help place your tongue properly. Together, hungry. So if you stop on a that is what I want you to hum. So we'll go nice and simple, nice and light. Don't feel you have to perform. Just breathe in, hum. Going up a little. Couple more. But visualize that rather than going up the scale, you are in fact walking along backwards. So that you're projecting backwards rather than up. Okay? So on couple more. Last one. Good. Now on that pitch, we'll change it ever so slightly, still very, very relaxed, and we'll go. Try to stay in the same position with the ah as where you are with the hum. Obviously your tongue will move because the tongue shapes the vowels, but try to not lose control. Most people will want to go. Avoid doing that. See how my face just collapsed? Okay, keep it nice and light, nice and high. So together. One more. We'll come down on E. Last but not. Good. Now, what is the purpose of introducing humming and vocal exercise? Well, we're trying to change the way in which we breathe, are we not? Yes. Do we need to be able to sing? Not really. But what I would like to inspire in people is exploration of ourselves, of our instrument, the body as our instrument. How can we make the most of our body for our own well-being, both physical and mental? Now, you may not have the best singing voice in the world, you may not even be able to sing in tune, but the production of sound, it creates vibrations, and those vibrations, when channeled through our muscles and resonating through our bones, they can move all the cells in our body. They can stretch all the little muscles inside us that we can't feel, and they can help release energy, release stress that might be built up inside our body in various ways. Also, it's a nice, simple and relaxing way to approach exercise and learning to do a thing. I'm all in favour for doing things in a fun way. And singing is always good. It's good for us. It makes us feel better. And that's largely why, actually. The other thing I would like to help people develop is a heightened awareness of our core. Because if we think about our core as the center of our body, the center of who we are, it is easier to open up and create the space in which we can breathe better, therefore that deep breathing. But it is also much easier to control stress and anxiety, and to also manage situations. Quite often we can feel overwhelmed by what's going on around us. An obvious and simple thing that springs to mind is at the moment when everybody keeps talking about the virus and things that are happening around the world, we can feel somewhat helpless. Even if we were to work on the front line and are actually actively helping people to get better, we all get overwhelmed. So what's the difference? How can we feel less overwhelmed? Do we just stop and no longer care? That's not possible. We want to care. But the thing to do, because if the moment we start to think about everything and we want to fix everything, we want to change the world, we then get overwhelmed and then we sort of get crushed by everything overwhelming us. And it is difficult to then pinpoint what we can start with first. And if we want to do everything, then everything gets a little bit of us. Now, by focusing on our core, and we do this by, first of all, the very first step is to focus on our breath. If every single breath that we take throughout the day, we are aware of how we are breathing, that raises awareness of our core. And awareness of our core is very helpful because it then it turns everything around us into peripheral vision and peripheral sound. But instead of exchanging us, is that a word? Instead of making us an outsider to the world, it helps us see and hear everything in perspective. And that is what it is all about. Self-awareness is not about being selfish. It is about seeing ourselves and our place in everything. See you again soon. Bye-bye.